It starts quietly. No one sees the struggle, because you make sure they don't. You are standing in the middle of a crisis. Maybe it's a financial crash. Maybe it's a heartbreak. Or maybe it's just the crushing weight of being alive. And your first instinct is not to reach out. It is to lock the door. You stop replying to texts. You start working harder. You convince yourself that needing others is a weakness you cannot afford. And in that silence, a terrifying thought clicks in your mind. If I ask for help, I become a burden. If I let them see me struggle, I lose my value. I have to be the strong one, because if I break, who is going to catch me? This is how a person becomes an island. Not physically, but psychologically. They are often the most reliable people in the room. They are the friends who give the best advice, but never take any. They are the partners who fix everything, but share nothing. They learn to view their own needs as threats to their survival. They become experts at self-soothing, self-managing, and self-destructing. And the world praises them for it. You're so low maintenance. You're so independent. You're such a rock. But no one ever stops to ask, how heavy is that rock? This is the invisible exhaustion of hyperindependence. And today, we are going deep inside the psychology of the person who never asks for help. Because this isn't just a personality quirk. It is a trauma response. It follows them into every relationship, turning intimacy into a battlefield, where letting someone in feels like losing a war. Let's look at what is really happening beneath the surface. When someone refuses help even when they are drowning, psychologists often trace this back to a breakdown in early trust. It is when a person learns, usually very young, that help comes with a price tag. Maybe they were shamed for having needs. Maybe their vulnerability was used against them as a weapon. So, they change. They decide to remove the variable of other people from the equation of their survival. They become the architect of their own safety. They learn to predict every outcome so they never have to rely on anyone else's competence. They view dependency as dangerous. But this safety comes at a brutal cost. They might become successful, but they are deeply lonely. They push people away the moment a connection feels too deep, because deep means dependent. They might feel angry when others try to help them, viewing kindness as pity or manipulation. They might struggle to feel loved, because they believe love is something you earn through performance, not something you receive just by existing. And worst of all, they might not even realize they are suffering. Because when you spend a lifetime carrying the world, your muscles forget how to put it down. Peace feels boring. Support feels suspicious. Being held feels like being trapped. Now you may ask, why would anyone choose this isolation? Because you are trying to protect yourself from the pain of disappointment. The choice is never conscious. It is a shield. In the absence of reliable people, you became your own parent, your own hero, and your own army. That is not arrogance. That is survival. That is grief, wearing a suit of armor. But the tragedy is this. The armor that saved you then is suffocating you now. So many of us are walking around as strong, independent adults who are secretly terrified that if we stop rowing the boat for just 1 second, we will drown. We work until we burn out to prove we don't need anyone. We suffer in silence because we think our pain is an inconvenience. And that secret fantasy you have? That one day, someone will just know you are falling apart without you having to say a word. That someone will look past your "I'm fine" and see the tired child underneath? That is the unmet need. Not of your adult self, but of the part of you that stopped trusting the world a long time ago. The first step to healing isn't becoming dependent. It is realizing that independence is not the opposite of burden, it is the opposite of intimacy. Because until you let someone help you, you are not actually in a relationship with them. You are in a relationship with your own control. So, what happens to the hyper-independent person when they finally crash? They realize that the world does not end when they let go. They become friends who allow themselves to be supported, not just the supporters. They become lovers who understand that needing someone is not a defect, but a design feature of being human. They become the kind of people who can say, "I don't know," and "I can't do this alone," without shame. This is the cost of never asking for help. You inherit a life where you are the master of everything, but you are touching nothing. You are safe, but you are starving. But here is the truth. No one gives you an award for suffering alone. You are the one who must lower the bridge. You are the one who must break the rule you made up in your head that says, you have to do it all. You didn't deserve to be the only one holding it together. You were just doing what you had to do to survive. But the war is over. You get to put the weapon down now. This is the beginning of true strength. Not the strength of a wall that keeps everything out, but the strength of a door that opens. It is terrifying because it asks you to trust after you swore you never would again. It asks you to hand someone a piece of your heavy load, and trust they won't drop it. But that fear? It's not a warning. It's an invitation. Because what was once a fortress is finally becoming a home. So if you are the person who never asks for help, know this. Your independence was never the problem. The problem was the pain that made it necessary. But now you have a choice. You can choose to be human. You can choose to be seen. You can choose to stop surviving your life and start sharing it. And no, it won't happen overnight. There will be days you want to lock the door again. Good. That means you are challenging the pattern. Let people in. Let them help. Let them love you for who you are, not just for what you can handle. Because you are not a machine. You are a person. And maybe for the first time, you don't have to carry it all. You survived the silence. Now, you get to survive the connection. And this time, you don't have to do it alone.